Real-time yields analysis, part 5, yield performance feedback, managing yields in real time. Real-time yield management. The key components: a system that provides a detailed yields analysis using standards that take into account variations associated with yield grade in sex or type of carcass. The analysis is updated whenever a box crosses the box scale, and accurate yield performance data is available throughout the plant. This is from the fab worker to the CEO. Fab progress is watched throughout the day, and bottom line is what gets measured gets improved. There's also historical performance available for all the staff, so anybody that wants can look back in previous days and see how fab did, either at a total level, by specific fab line, or down to individual subprimals. Yields analysis reporting, confidence and performance measures. Yields vary between carcass types by as much as 20%. To compare actual yields to a general yield standard is deceptive. We have major variations between, say, a yield grade 1 steer and a yield grade 4 or 5 heifer. To somehow kind of try to fudge the standards around, we're not going to get a good, accurate result. And so it's necessary to really have detailed yield standards to make this work. No one really believes the standards, so nothing changes. If people see the number, but they're like, I'm not really sure what was associated with that, there's nothing they can do to actually make an improvement. You can't hold people accountable to a vague standard. If it's just sort of a general, you guys were a little tight yesterday, they're not really sure what to do, and you can't really tell people, hey, you screwed up yesterday. They're not sure what's going on. Okay, next day reporting with general yield standards. There's an inability to correct performance and prevent lost value. If you've got a bad day yesterday, you can't go back and fix it today. Staff are going to say, what did I do yesterday? Why is there a problem? I don't understand, because now you're telling me today that I messed something up yesterday. They're going to say, I fabbed 189, 189As, and 190s. Which one did I do wrong? Obviously, they're different cuts, so was I too tight on the 190s, or I just don't know. They're not giving your staff the kind of feedback they need to change your behavior. I fabbed the same way the day before and it was good. Why is there a problem now? So it may be that the carcass mix changed. The staff did exactly the same thing, but because we didn't adjust in our general standard for yields, we're looking at the staff like they did something wrong, and the reality is our standard isn't correct. It's a discouraging environment as there's no immediate feedback and no one trusts the standards. Okay, fab room here. We're looking at the fab room with next day reporting. All the different fab tables. Product comes off the end of the fab tables and goes to the box scale. From the time it hits the box scale, it then moves off into inventory. And in a next day reporting environment, the data the next day comes to the specific fab tables for whoever's managing those tables or managing fab in general, and also senior management to say they did or didn't do a good job that day. So yields analysis reporting for real-time yields with detailed standards. We've got the ability to correct performance and prevent lost value. Detailed yield standards can be believed. Real-time reporting of yields with detailed standards. We can see the problem now in both pounds and dollars. So at any point in fab, we can actually see, okay, we're now, we're like $1,000 behind, we're $5,000 behind, we're $2,000 behind on the loin, and we're only like 2 hours into fab. What's going on? We got to go take a look and see what's taken out on the line. And we can actually go out, look at what's happening, and make a difference. We can act immediately to correct those problems. And that's an essential part of understanding and managing fab yields. If we're doing it the next day, we're really not managing it, we're just reporting it. The staff can see the difference as they work. So as the staff sees themselves in a home, we start to make those changes, they can see those negative variances recover, and we start to see, that we're hitting those variances, hitting the standards exactly, so they don't have the negative variances we had previously. Okay, yields analysis reporting in real time. The product goes from the fab tables to the box scale. Product then goes from the box scale to inventory. At the same time, real-time data comes to the fab tables. Everyone that's involved in fab can actually see that information at whatever level they want every minute. In the situation we have here, we're updating the data every minute so they can see what's going on, both in terms of what happened that minute and also cumulatively, so we can see where we are at any point in time for that day in terms of actual fab variance to what we know are reliable standards. the same time, we've got that data being available to management. So management has that data coming to them the moment fab starts. They can start to see what's taking place. Information also can be available like on a smartphone or whatever, but they can definitely see what's taking place on the fab floor. Anybody in the plant can. Where do we make it available? Okay, observing yield variances for senior management. This is a report that breaks out in a table and a couple of graphs what's actually going on the fab floor. This is a hierarchy of all the item codes broken down into different primals and subprimals. This is a report coming out every minute. We're doing an update. And we've got all the minutes available here, so if we want to, we can scroll through the different minutes to see what happened minute by minute. This is for what actually took place in the minute 8:07, the actual dollars, the expected dollars, and the variance. In this case, we had a negative variance of $43. This is what took place in total. So we started fab, in this case, in this example, at about 7 o'clock. We're now at 8:07. We're about an hour into fab. We've fabbed about $149,000 of product. We should have fabbed about $152,000, so we're about $3,000 behind at this point. So everybody's on the same page. We can all see that we've got a negative variance. We can see that in this case, say the ribs are have a negative about 1,000. The loin's about 950. So we can actually see the specifics. And if we look to the left of the report where those plus signs are, we can drill down and see the specific subprimal or subprimals that are creating the variance. This is a report, in this case, looking at all the item codes, showing minute by minute what the variance is. If we were to go ahead and click on one of the lines in the table above, that graph on the one to its right will change to that specific subprimal. So if we clicked on flank, we'd see both of these graphs change over to flank, so we see the details on flank. In this case here, we're again looking at all item codes, and this is the aggregate total for all items. And you can see this just build over time. And right now we're about, like we said, we're over $3,000 in the hall at about 807, 808. And there's that number, the 3,000. Okay, now we've shifted to look at weight. So we're observing the variances for senior management again. We're looking at all item codes, and we're looking at it again by minute. And again, these are the specifics for the minutes. So right now, minute by minute, and that particular minute, we were about $9 short. And aggregate for the shift to date, which started, like again, I said, about 7 o'clock, we're about 634 pounds in the hole. These are all the item codes that we're seeing weights by. There's a couple minutes in there where it looks like something really kind of got messed up, so we might want to go back and even look and see where those variances are, which we can do in the table above. But let's just see if we do start to recover and improve our performance, we'll start to see those variances head back towards zero or possibly be a little bit on the plus side. And here's the cumulative table showing exactly the same thing, but this is looking at weights rather than pounds. Excuse me, rather than dollars. And that's the total, which is 600 and some pounds that we're short right now. Okay, this is the line management report. We're looking at the loin line right now, and we can see we have the loin tender. We're looking at loin tender option. We also have the short loin option in there. So if we start fabbing short loins will show up in this report. At this point in fab, we've only done tender loins. We're looking at strip loins, and we've got the individual details there. We've got the boneless top butt, all the different components that are part of that. If we were to click on the 180 plus sign for strip loins, what we'll see is at any point in time, we'll see any 180s that for all the various quality grades or programs. So we have a total for the strip loin we can see, which tells us how we're fabbing, but we can also look at the various components of the yield grades or programs to see if there's any variations associated with that, which it should be. That should be a standard. But it lets us see the impact of all those, and especially when we're looking at dollars. If we're fabbing natural or a particular organic product, we're going to see a greater dollar variances when we fab those types of products. Here's the minutes. Again, like on the previous graph, on the previous page we showed you. These are the actual values that took place for the minutes. So for that particular minute for the loin, we were half a pound short. We're about 110 pounds short cumulatively so far. Like I said, we're about an hour into the shift. These are the specifics relative to the loin. Again, if I click on, let's say, the 180 strip loin boneless, I would see the details for that. Right now I'm just looking at loin. And there's the total for the loin cumulatively. And the total. And now we're looking at the dollars associated with this, which is available. Again, we're looking at the loin line. We're looking at by minute. We can see the actual values associated with what happened this last minute. We can say cumulative right now we're in the hole for almost $1,000 on the loin line. And this is the specifics by minute for the loin. And these are the cumulative totals. I'm looking at, in this case, like I said, dollars. And there's the total, almost $1,000 right there. Real-time yields analysis. The next video will be part 6, the financial impact real-time yields analysis. For more information on real-time yields, contact NAV Analytics at 800-280-7107 or visit our website at navanalytics.com. Thank you.